Hello, I am Sensei Kevlar. Welcome back to the Dojo, and thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be doing some live charting, and the first thing that we're going to be focusing on in our charting is finding resistance and support. So I want to go over a couple of techniques for how to find them. The first thing that I want to point out is that the easiest way to actually find resistance and support when you're first learning how to do this is just to use your cursor, to drag your cursor along the chart price line moving forward. And what you can see is that your cursor has small dotted lines that extend to the left and the right of it. Well, anytime that you're tracing along these lines and you come across a point at which the dotted lines intersect with 2 points extending to the right, see, I've got it on one point, and then you can see that the dotted line is touching another point to the right, and it's touching a third point later on, closer to 2019. What you want to do is that's where you want to place your line, just wherever those lines intersect with the price chart. There we go. Can do it again, and as we trace the price up, we see that here's another place where it intersects with our price point to the right of this. Okay. At this point, we've probably found most of the relevant ones within here. We could definitely take a look at this one right here and see that there is an intersection to the right and again to the left. Right here as we're coming down, we could see that there's an intersection to the right, so we could put one there. Let's do it again. See if there's a place around here. Not really. There's not really a point where 2 points are touching, 2 caps are touching, or 2 values are touching. But there definitely is right here. If you take a look here, as I drag my cursor up along this right here, you can see that there's definitely a point to the right over here, where the 2 points are touching. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a line there. Coming on the downside, as I follow this downslope right here, there's definitely a point at which, over here, and even here, there's a nice correlation. There's some good correlations happening right in this range right here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a line right there, because I can see lots of good correlations, lots of peaks and valleys touching as I drag my mouse cursor along. Let's keep going. Here's a place where we don't really have a lot of correlations, right? You can see that this point doesn't really line up with anything. This point doesn't really line up with anything. This point doesn't really line up with anything. This point, you've got some correlations right here. Maybe you would draw that right there. But we definitely can see that we do have valid resistance points. This is clearly the top of the market. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that the top of the market. And these are correlated points in the future, but I don't think they're very relevant to our analysis right now. So continuing our analysis, if you come on down, we've already picked out this point. We've already picked out this point. We've already picked out this point. Definitely have picked out this point. You see, we've already found them all at this point. There's nothing more to find. In fact, the only thing that I think that we haven't found is the one all the way at the bottom here. If you come and take a look right at the very beginning of the chart, right at $84, you see that was a heavily correlated price point back here in May of 2017. Well, guess where it bounced off of in, December of 2018? See the correlation there? Anytime your cursor touches those 2 points in a dip like that, you've got a price point, okay? So now we have effectively located what we believe to be all the relevant resistance and support points, right? Let's go ahead and build a strategy that would have made us money during the down market, right? So let's say that we actually made the mistake of buying at the top of the market, right? Our first trade is going to be, $1,400. God help us, because we're about to come down a lot, and we all know that that's what's about to happen, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to normalize how much I'm buying at each point. And I'm going to say, if I buy $10 worth in my opening position, I'm going to call that one position. Okay. So $10 is equal to one position. And if I buy $1,400, I'm going to buy one position. Okay. Then, let's make the strategy to make us profitable. Obviously, if I buy at $1,400 and it keeps going up, I'm profitable, and I don't really need to strategize for this opportunity. I do to some degree, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, regarding where to sell. But what we're really focusing on right now is where to buy. Okay, so the next place that we would buy, well, that's $980. Okay, the next place we would buy is $800 according to our resistance, followed by $700. I'm being approximate here. I mean, you could certainly do $810 or $690 here if you wanted to be more precise with your calculations. This is definitely $390. But I'm just going to call that $400 for the sake of planning. Right, here's $230. Here's $150, and here is $980. We'll call that $80. Right. Now, we'll call this $85. Now, if we were to do something like double up on each one, what that would mean is we would buy progressively more each time. 16, 32. I'm a programmer, I know this stuff. 64, and 128 positions. Now, to figure out how much I actually was spending at each point, all I need to do is multiply this number by how much one position is, $10. So here I've spent $1,280, okay, at the bottom of the market. And I can figure out, based upon this calculation, how much my position is worth at the bottom of the market, where my profit line actually lies, okay? The problem is that when we go to actually forward test this strategy, this might not have made us money the way we would like it to, right? Coming down here and buying here in order to sell here, well, it's not going to make us a lot of money, right? If this is the halfway line in which we're doubling up, and then we only make this much profit, that's not a lot of profit, okay? So what happens if we change the amount that we're buying? If we instead do something like 3, and this is 9, and this is, and this is, 9 times 3 is 27, and then 27 times 3, and on and on and on, right? And each point you're increasing the amount. What you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a lot more having spent at the bottom here, right? So what can we do to lessen the load on our portfolio? Well, what we could do is we could do this. Suddenly we've lessened the load on our portfolio. Now we're trading one position, right? What we should be able to see at this point is that the resistance and support lines tell us where we need to be doing our planning, because that's where the markets actually do turn around. They actually do turn around on these correlated resistance and support lines, right? Now, some of these we might not have known in the future, right? But looking at this, if this is all the more information we saw, and we're just looking at where the market has turned around, this is one. The only one we really couldn't have known is maybe that one, if that one had been coming down. That's the only one we couldn't really have plotted for ahead of time and known at this point in time without looking anywhere into the future, right? Now, what we can see is that if we triple up, what that does is that lowers our profit line significantly. Rather than doubling up, we're now tripling up. Now we're making money through all of this. If we do it even more, if we quadruple up, we're doing more of this. Now we're in the money. Now when we sell, we're making lots of money. We're making lots of money on these returns, right? So if we 5x up, we're making even more money when we get up to here, okay? And then what happens is we make this dive down into here, okay? Let's double up. Here we come down with a double up. This is a triple up. This is a quadruple up. This is a 5x up. And you can see how much more money you're making above this line, all by making a plan and then sticking to the plan. All you got to do is all you got to do is back here in 2017, make a plan and go and put the numbers in, right? And go and actually put the numbers in, and figure out to the exchange and put your buy orders in, right? Put your buy orders in for $800. Put your buy orders in for $700. Put your buy orders in for $400, $300, $200, $100. Okay. The thing is, as soon as those buy orders hit, you now got to go back and do the same thing with your sell orders. You got to put your sell order in at $680. Your second sell order in at $800. That's it. That's the whole strategy executed against this one. Let's do another chart. Let's do. Somebody said. Now I don't remember. TRX. Let's do TRX. TRX, ETH. Okay. Here we're using Ethereum as our backing rather than US dollars as our backing. So if you have Ethereum already in your account and you don't want to necessarily get into dollars, this is a great strategy. It is a great market to be utilizing your Ethereum to make you more Ethereum. And that's the point. And we'll talk more about how to plan your allocations in order to make you more counter, or make you more base, or make you more counter, make you more Tron, or make you more Ethereum. We'll talk more about that in Wednesday's lesson. But coming up here, we can see that the first time that the chart intersects with me to the right here with another dip is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my line. I'm going to do it again. And as we come up, we can see that I'm not really sure that there's another correlation here. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Yes, there is. It's way over here. If you take a look, when I was dragging my mouse, I just wasn't looking far enough into the future. Okay. There's one definitely there. You can see that the price came up right there, and then it came down right here. Here's an example of resistance where the price was... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click that. An example of where the price was trying to go up, and this turned into resistance. Okay? Here, the price broke through that resistance, and that resistance became support. This is a classic resistance became support scenario, where prior you knew where the resistance line was. You knew where the resistance line was, and you bought down here because you knew where the support line was down here. Then it came up and it broke through resistance. When it was coming back down, where was a good time to look to be doing the buying? It was right here at the previous resistance. Could we have speculated that resistance would become support at this point? Absolutely. Would this have been a valid buy signal to help us in our planning to say that this might be a good time to buy versus waiting for it to come down here because this is the previous resistance level and it might turn into support and we might not be able to get back below it? That might have been a good speculation. Another good speculation is it might have come back down through here and come down to here and then come down to here. That would have been good speculation as well, and you would have done well to make that plan. But guess what? It didn't. It came down and it did 3 tests of this support. 1, 2, 3, before it took off again. Could you have been making money if you had been buying this as this resistance as if it was going to become support, not knowing that it would? Could you have, when you were here at the top of the market, gone ahead and put your buy order in down here? Yeah, exactly what you could have done. And then when it came up and it did one of these, could you have put your line here and said, all right, well, my buy order went off. Where am I going to sell? Well, here's the opportunity. Make the plan. Right? The plan will keep you profitable. If you plan the trade, then you trade the plan. There should be no exception to this. It should be obvious at this point that planning is what makes you money. Planning for it to come down to here and then down to here is how you make money when it goes back up to here. And what happens is now we get to follow that. We get to continue the trend. It came up to here. Look, man, if you sold here, if you bought here and then you sold here, what's going to happen here? Well, we're going to come up here, and what is it we're going to do? We're going to place our line. Okay, well, we turned around. Where are we going to put our buy order? It's today. This is today. We don't know the future. Where are we going to put our buy order? We're going to put our buy order right here on the previous resistance line, hoping it becomes support. Then we're going to put our next buy order here, and our next buy order here, and our next buy order here. And then we're going to wait to see what happens next. Look at what happens next. It comes down and it hits all of our buy orders. And now we're dollar cost averaging into this opportunity. And then what happens? As we drag our profit line down, and down and down and down, dollar cost average, somewhere our profit line's getting drugged down into here. And then what happens is it crosses our profit line. Well, where are we going to sell? Of course we're going to sell right here. How do we know to sell right here? Because this is the previous resistance level. Go ahead and place the sell order right here. Where's the next sell order we're going to place? We're going to place it right here, obviously. We don't know the future yet. And then what's going to happen is going to come up and it's going to put our sell orders. Well, now it's today. Where are we going to put our buy order? Of course we're going to put our buy order right here, and here, and here, and here. And then what's going to happen is our buy order is going to get hit. And then where's our sell order going to go? It's going to go right here. Why do we know it's going to go right here? Because the past tells us. Sell order gets hit. Okay, now it's today. Where's our buy order go? Well, obviously it goes right here. And here, and here, and here, and here. You can plan. You can know exactly how much you're going to have spent when you arrive here. You know exactly what your opportunity cost is. You know exactly how much further you might need to go all the way down to here. Count on it, make that plan, and then make that plan for 0 too. Because there's a lower limit here. It doesn't get any lower than that. Here's our whole plan. The whole thing. This is it. It's all we got to do. So we got to go and we got to put the money into the exchange. We got to put the buy orders into the exchange at each and every point along this point, and then wait for the money to come to us. And look at what happens. It came down and it hit our buy order. Are we in the money today? Yeah, we're in the money. How much are we in the money? What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my shift button, and I'm going to click right here. What that's going to do is that's going to start dragging a percentage area. Well, if I had managed to sell at the top of this peak right here, having bought on this line right here, this is my buy line, I'd be up 30%. I'll take 30% on my money. Heck. There we go. If my shift click would like to work, I'll take 15% on my money and get out and be happy. And then what am I going to do with that money? Well, I'm going to put my buy order back here, of course. Okay. And what if it does this? What if it breaks through here and comes up to here? Well, obviously I'm going to take down, I'm going to reformat the plan. I'm going to rework the plan. Look how the plan just got changed. Now we've got a new place to buy. It's now up here in the future, and it comes down to here. Or, alternatively, it does one of these. And you have a plan in place that makes you money. No matter what this chart does, you have a plan in place that makes you money, and no matter how low the chart goes, you know exactly how much you need to have allocated well before you have spent anything. This is planning-based allocation, and it is so crucial to success in these markets, because if you do not respect the fact that you do not know which direction this chart is going to go, and you cannot predict it, and anybody who's telling you they can is a liar, you're just guessing. You may as well roll dice. You may as well bet on black. The only way to scientifically ensure your profitability is to have a plan which scientifically is testable, repeatable, observable, math-based, and works in any scenario no matter what the market does. Let's do one more. ZEC USD. Don't look at that. Okay. Boy, this is a good one, isn't it? I really like this chart a lot. I'm just going to filter out this stuff in the beginning, although we might bring it back in for later analysis. But I'm just going to start here and do the horizontal line. And I'm going to say, well, the first thing that really pops out is this guy right here, obviously. But then even going further back, this one, obviously. Okay. Here. Definitely right here. Some really heavy correlations. Right there. Coming back down. We definitely see this. Look at this. Right there and right there. Definitely found, and right there and right there. And look at what happened here. Here, we were finding support over and over again before we came back up and hit what was previously support at this level. Support became resistance. Here, resistance pushed us back down, and what was previously support we broke through, and look at what happened. What was previously support became resistance. And what was previously resistance coming up over here became support over here. And then it broke down through, and it came all the way down. And where did it turn around? Well, previously it turned around at this support level. Now it turned around at the same support level. Not knowing any of this, could we have made a plan that would have made us profitable if we had bought at the top? My answer is yes. My answer is yes. Look at all of these heavy correlations, right? If we bought at the top and we did not know what was going to happen, if all we knew is these lines right here, right, and these lines from beforehand, I will in just 1 second, Perch. If all we knew is these lines beforehand, oh man, it's so obvious, right? If I had bought at the top, this is where I would have placed my next buy order, right here, where this thing came up and did one of these. And obviously I would have done it here at the next place. And I might have skipped this one, because while this obviously does look like some level of resistance, I don't think it's terribly heavily correlated. Maybe a little. I might have skipped this one in order to buy in this one. And I might have skipped all of this noise action in here in order to buy in this heavily correlated one right here. So that would be the plan that I'm making is, 560, 400, 300, 220, 160. Triple up, quadruple up, mix and match, maybe do triple ups here, do quadruple ups here. Figure out the math, figure out the strategy. And then I'd go and I test it. Would that strategy have been making me money? Had I come down in here, could I have sold here for money? And then, and then when it came down, when it didn't quite make it to here and I didn't sell, could I have bought again here, only to need to buy again here? Didn't get the buy here before I made my money back, did I? Made all my money. Money, money, money. Came up here, and could I have bought here only to sell here? Yep. Could I have bought here knowing I need to buy down here? Yep. Here's your opportunities. Here they all are. If you had cost average down enough here, could you have sold right here and gotten out? Absolutely you could have. Over and over and over again, in this market, the right plan would have made you money. Over and over and over again. It's testable, it's repeatable, you can see it on paper, you can do it with your calculator, you can make the spreadsheet and it figures it out for you. That's what we're going to be doing. Let's take a look at ZEC-ETH. Oh yeah, man. Free money is right. Take a look at this. Okay. Come on over here. This is the first really heavily correlated. No, it's not even the right. Not even the right one. See this correlation right here? Let's bring that back to red. See this correlation right here, coming in right here, right, coming up to here. Here we were finding lots of support, and it kept on popping up above this line every time it went down below. Only for here it became resistance. Okay. Now here we are, literally scraping along the bottom. If you put your line there, could you have known when it came up to here to go ahead and place your buy order down here? If this is our, I don't want to bring in that noise, but if this is our future, right? If it came up to here, could you have known to put your buy order down here? Make your money right here? Yeah. Over and over again. Come down, buy, sell. Time to sell, right? We've obviously got lots of correlation happening at this level right here, okay? Because this is clearly a very high resistance point. Every time it tries to pop up to this point right here, it can't seem to get above it. And then what's going to happen? Okay, it comes up to here. Well, here we are today. Where am I going to put my buy order? Obviously right here. It's free money. This is 10%. You can see it right here. You don't even have to do the math. Or, I'm sorry, 20% right here. You don't even have to do the math. Come down. You're going to put your buy order again? Of course you are. You're going to sell right here? You bet. You're going to put your buy order down right here? Yes. Knowing that you need another buy order down here. Every time. Plan never changes. Nothing about the planning changes. Nothing about the strategy changes no matter what. Could you have gotten your buy order in? Close. Could you go back and say, yeah, go ahead and buy at 40? Yeah. I think that's acceptable. Do you know that you need to buy at 25 again? Yes. Okay. And on Wednesday, we'll figure out how we can figure out numbers that don't have correlations. We'll figure out how to do projections and stuff like that. Let's move on, though. ADA, USD. Oh, yeah, man. Come on, this is easy. Let's do a ADA BTC, something with more information. There we go. Here we go. It's easy. Okay, as we come up here to this point right here, obviously we see a crossing right there. Where else do we see crossings? Yeah, here's a clear case where support became resistance as soon as we broke under it. Okay, here's a clear top. Here's the top of the market. There's definitely some action in here, where you can see here it became support, here it became resistance, here it became support, here it became resistance. I'd say that's probably one of the most heavily correlated lines in this whole chart right here. See how often this flips over, under, support, resistance, support, resistance? Okay. Here, we broke through support. Could we find resistance right here? Yeah, definitely could. What does that tell you? Well, it tells you need to place your buy order down here. That's the strategy. Okay. If you had bought down here, Could you be selling right here? Yeah, of course you could. How much money would you be making on that? If I could get my mouse to work, that'd be great. Well, let's say you made 30% on that. That's beautiful. I'll take 30% of my money. Love markets like this. Markets like this can make you money all day long if you have a plan in place. If you don't have a plan in place, you're just going to lose your money. What you're going to do is you're going to do something silly, like come down here with a stop loss. Then you're going to reach this point and go, you know what, I screwed up. I'm just going to get out and take my losses. I'm telling you right now, that's planning to fail. What you have done is you have planned to lose money. That's what stop losses do. You have failed to create a plan that will make you profitable. All right, let's do one more. B-A-T, E-T-H. Let's load her in, boys. Come on. There we go. That's better. B-A-T-E-T-H. That's all we got, huh? Sure. No problem. Let's grab our tool. We'll come down here. We'll say, yeah, this is pretty obviously a correlated point right here because we touched it here. We touched it here. We definitely saw support, support, support. And then as soon as we broke through support, we had to break back above support. It did not become resistance, but it looks like it was trying to. Very interesting. Okay, here's another point. Very heavily correlated. Here's another point. Very heavily correlated. Look at this. Resistance. Support. Resistance. Support. Where are we going to put our buy order? Obviously right down here. Just waiting for it to happen. Okay. But can we find another buy signal within here? Sure can. Take a look at this right here. Previously, we started up here and then we quickly crashed back down. As soon as we are able to come up through resistance right here, we very briefly touched this with a wick, but not a candle. Then we made a brief pause right here, where we came up and turned around before where this became resistance very briefly, before we broke through it. Here, it's now looking like it might become support. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to create our opportunities by buying one position, and then doing something like selling there, our one position. Alternatively, we might buy 2 positions here and 4 positions here. We might buy 3 positions here and 9 positions here. Right? 27 all the way down, right? 27, 81, 243, 729, right? If one position is $1, then I've spent a grand total of $2,187 at that point. And I'm fully down here at the bottom of the market. Can my portfolio handle that? If it can't, maybe I want to skip buying here and wait for it to come down here. Maybe I want to skip buying here and wait for it to come down here. Whatever your portfolio tells you can do according to your plan is what maximizes your opportunity to create profit, because there's never a point at which you have to accept the loss on this if you plan the trade and you trade the plan. And that is the way of the trader. I want to thank you all very much for joining me, and I look forward to our lesson tomorrow. We'll be at Wednesday at 8 p.m., where we will be discussing further trend analysis, looking at some projections, looking at some other trend opportunities and signals that tell us, and start to build out that plan in a scientific way that's not just, buying every single level, but actually making a rule set and then testing the rule set in terms of what actually works in a given market and maximizing our strategy for building those opportunities for ourselves. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you and goodbye.